What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. I feel like butthole. I don't know if you can tell. I just had like a raging migraine. I don't know what the hell is going on. I've never had a headache in my life. And then all of a sudden here I am, almost 30 years old, and I'm getting migraines. Oh, I'm almost 30. I'm not even wearing a bra. And I have pajamas on. Hold on, I'm gonna put on a bra and I'll catch you guys in a second, okay? Sorry.
It's a them program.
Okay, this will do. Sweater, even better. How cute is this? It says peachy and cutie with the booty. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's freaking awesome. Okay, so yeah, I'm like a hot mess. But I also feel like you guys don't come here to watch me be all like hoity-toity and perfect. I hope not. If you do, you're going to be disappointed. So this is like a totally spur of the moment video, but I was talking to Marcus yesterday about things and videos and things that, like, the videos that you guys reacted the most to, if you will. And then we were just talking about my anxiety and how people are still really struggling to either accept that they have it or deal with it, or, you know, struggling to live life while struggling with anxiety. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit more insight into my personal experience and how I deal with it, how things happen to me, what things are happening to me, how I deal with my anxiety. So yeah, if you're into that, if you're struggling and you want to watch this, please stick around. If you don't want to listen to my rambles today, you know, check out the other videos. There's some other good ones. Maybe you want to see those. Okay? Yeah. Still stay on this channel though, okay? I need you guys. So yeah, anxiety. Anxiety sucks. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody really wants to talk about anything that makes you different, weird, or stand out, if you will. So I get it. But it's also this like ugly monster that just follows you around, and you're like happily moving through life and you think everything's fun, and then it's like BAM! And hits you out of nowhere. And it doesn't have to be something bad going on in your life. It doesn't have to be a traumatic experience. It doesn't have to be anything. You know, your cereal can get soggy and you can have a panic attack. It's really not that complicated, and it doesn't really come from an intense event, and that is the horrifying thing about anxiety, and that is the horrifying thing of trying to explain it to people who don't have it. So if you are in that boat, I get you guys, I get you, I understand how difficult it can be trying to have people relate to you when this is what you're going through, and it's really difficult to explain it to people, because what do you say? Oh, I'm a mental person. That's what I say. That's how I describe it. I feel like my head is going to explode, like my heart's going to explode, and it's like there's a million tabs open on my computer. Like, you know, have you seen that meme? That's what it's like. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I feel like, in all seriousness, a lot of my clients struggle with this. I struggle with this. I haven't talked about this publicly since this year, so I feel like I get why people struggle with this privately, but I also feel like if I have a voice, I should use it to talk about this, because I don't want you guys to feel like you're alone and like you're struggling. And I know that I did a video on this, but I just wanted to go a little bit more in depth with things. And recently, I think just through, my own experiences and through client experiences and even family, it's really difficult to kind of talk about this, because I feel like a lot of the time people going through this don't want to be a burden, and they don't want to be defined by their anxiety. And I totally get that, and that's the biggest reason that I really struggled and took so long to do that first video on anxiety, because I didn't want to be labeled as that, and I really was nervous that that's what it would become, that it would become a label that I was wearing. And honestly, it wasn't like that at all. I feel like you guys responded really well, and you guys really connected to the video, because a lot of you are struggling in silence and in private. And ever since the Bell Let's Talk Day, where I saw so many people posting about mental health awareness and things that they had struggled with, and it was so amazing and refreshing to see that type of content on social media where people are actually being vulnerable and talking about their struggles, not just the perfect things going on in our lives. It was just so refreshing to see, and it kind of opened up my eyes to how many people struggle in silence, and they took that day as a way to talk about it, as an outlet to talk, which was amazing. But I think the most important thing when it comes to mental health and awareness of mental disorders, mental disease, I hate those words, like I don't like labeling it as that, because I just think it makes you a part of who you are. I think it's in line with either having a type A or a type B personality. It genuinely becomes a part of who you are, and as long as you can find a way to manage it and to live a healthy life with it, I think it is what it is, and that's kind of how I take it. And the biggest thing that I really wanted to talk about here is just ways that I cope personally, in order to maybe help you guys find ways of coping as well. So for me, my anxiety I'm a huge control freak. So I'm very, very type A. And a lot of the time my anxiety comes from very stupid little things, if you will. They're insignificant things in my life. So let's say I have my day scheduled, morning to night, everything is perfectly fitting. I've written it out as I always do. And I get a call and I have to book something extra in the day, or I have to add a client in, or something in there comes and disrupts my life. It literally feels like a bomb went off in my head, and I completely lose control, and I lose awareness, and I lose the ability to be rational, if you will. So something that literally could take me 5 extra minutes and that's it, but it's disrupting my schedule, can feel like the sky is falling. And that sucks. And that sucks because it's really hard to pull yourself back from that place once you've taken one too many steps into that anxious spiral. So for me, I really am trying to learn how to be more flexible, because I feel that my type A personality is really hindering and enhancing my anxiety, if you will. It's changing my body. It's really funny. Funny. I don't know if I'd use that word. But I went to the physio, and I know if you guys have been watching this channel, you know that I'm struggling with like shoulder issues and so on. So basically my physio therapist has told me that my continued anxiety has really taken a toll on my body, and I'm so anxious that I'm so upright all the time that my posture is almost too good, that my head has moved back, that my traps sit like rocks up so high, and my scaps are glued to my ribs. So that's insane. That's insane that it has such a physical impact. But for me, that comes from me trying to keep it in, right? So I'm very, I try to keep my anxiety within my body rather than releasing it. And so that's really bad. So I'm working on that. So one of the biggest things, like I said, I find that I personally need to be more flexible with my schedule and not allow those little changes to seem like the sky is falling. And then the other thing in relation to the physical stress on the body is learning how to breathe. So a lot of people who are anxious breathe only from their chest, and that's that breathing. That breathing will not relax you, hence it will not calm your anxiety. So breathing from your diaphragm and from your stomach can really help you relax your muscles and can help you relax as a human being in turn. So that's one of the things that I have been practicing, and it's really difficult, but I find that when I start to feel even the slightest bit of anxiety, I really try to practice diaphragmatic breathing to bring myself down and to relax myself in order to not let it lead to the next step, which we all know just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's like when the ugly dragon rears its head. So basically that breathing is becoming very beneficial to me, but it's a lot of practice because I'm of course, I mean, when you are in fight or flight and when difficult situations arise, you go back into your old patterns, and your old patterns would be breathing from your chest. So that's something that I would really, really suggest doing for people who have anxiety. The other thing is this book. My sister got me, sorry guys. My sister got me this really cool book for Christmas, and I love it. It's called Write It Down, Let It Go, and it's a worry relief journal. So this is just perfect for people who have anxiety. And there's exercises in there, just little reminders, and basically the idea of it is all the things that you feel are hindering your life or causing you stress, causing you anxiety, etc. You write them down, and then you let them go. And even before this specific journal, I found, before I even knew what I had and what was going on with me, and I was a stress case, and I thought that was just that, I would write things down when I get really overwhelmed or when I feel like there's too much going on. And when I did that, I found a sense of relief, like I had let it go. So I get that that's where, where this journal comes from. That's the purpose of it. And I find that really useful. So if you are in the place where you're still in the conscious place of your anxious spell and it's just kind of starting, if you can just take a few minutes and sit down and write out what is going on, write out the processes in your mind of these dramatic thoughts and how they're leading to where they're leading. If you can write it down and let it go before it becomes something huge, I find it's really helpful in a way to divert it from becoming something much bigger. And yes, I am wearing pajamas still. I decided not to change out of my pants because I didn't think you guys could see them, but now I see you can. So I'm really not that embarrassed. They're the Marvel superhero comic pants, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm like an insane superhero nerd. Like, I'm obsessed with superheroes. Obsessed. If I could be a superhero, I'd be Iron Man. For sure. Anyways, that is so relevant to this video, but I just thought that I would throw that in there since you can see my pants. The other thing when it comes to anxiety that I found useful is exercise, and I know it can be super, super difficult to pull yourself out of that dark hole and peel those covers off and put the ice cream and the pizza away and just put your clothes on and go to the gym. But honestly, I find that sometimes having that excessive amount of energy, especially if you're a type A personality with anxiety, it's really difficult to channel that energy to something useful unless you're physically doing something with it. So how I kind of figured this one out is that Sundays are my rest days. I turn my work phone off. I have, usually a day off from the gym, and it's just kind of like a relaxing day to get my life back in order. And it's funny because that's the day where I found out I was like insanely anxious. Like, I would wake up, have my breakfast, just be hanging out on the couch, and like anxiety would hit. And it's like, I feel like the walls are closing in on me. Why? I'm sitting there, I'm relaxed, I'm with my dogs, I'm with my husband, nothing bad is happening, there's nothing to cause me that, but it's that pent-up energy. And it's why I am such a workaholic, is that being a workaholic is actually really helps me with my anxiety. It either distracts me or it allows me to channel all this excess energy into something, at least something good. So when I take a day off from work and from exercise and from anything that can distract my mind and my body, that's really when the anxiety starts to take over. So I would highly suggest that if you can, that you, even on those rest days, that you do something active. I've basically just started walking the dogs and doing other things that I like that may not be business, but things that keep me busy, going out, visiting my family, and so on. And in a moment of anxiousness, I at least try to just go and walk on the treadmill and not do something that's so complicated that you're going to get more anxious and more frustrated. If you're a person who just needs to go in there and lift heavy ass weights so you feel better, do that. But I'm the kind of person that, like, I need to wind myself back up into it, or back down, I should say. So I will walk on the treadmill just to kind of get some of that energy out. get a good sweat going, and then when I start to come down a little bit, then if I feel good, I will do my workout. If I feel like, okay, I brought it down, let's just leave it where it is, then I won't. So, I mean, it's really difficult because I feel like we all definitely struggle in such a different way, and that's what I think makes human beings unique, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But I think it's really important to understand that you don't have to live like that every single day, and that there are ways around it, and that, you know, it's okay to take that day in your room and hide under the covers if you need that. That's totally okay. But it's also important to know that there comes a time where you have to take those covers off and you have to carry on with life. And the best way to do that is to find coping mechanisms that work for you. I personally don't take medication. I've never taken medication for my anxiety. I just find that it's a personal choice. I don't judge people who do. I have clients who are on it. I have clients who aren't on it. That has nothing to do with anything. It's just that I've chosen this path, and I know that sometimes because I did choose this path, it makes it a little bit more difficult because sometimes I have to work extra hard to kind of keep myself level, and that's fine, right? But even if you are on medication, you're still going to experience anxiety. You're still going to go through these spells. So having coping mechanisms set aside and ready, having those tools in your arsenal, so when time comes you are prepared, I think is so ultra important in order to live a healthy and happy life. And one thing that I really want to really get out there, and I said this in my post too when I posted about the Bell Let's Talk, is that it's really important to remember that just because you have anxiety or ADHD or depression or whatever it is that you're struggling with, it doesn't mean you are that, right? It's just a part of you. It's a part that, you know, may make you a fighter a little bit more than the next person because you have to work that much harder just to live and to breathe and to get up and eat your breakfast, right? Sometimes it takes an army to get you out of bed. And you know what? Yeah, that sucks sometimes. But if you look at it from the perspective of, you're a strong ass motherfucking human, and I'm really sorry to swear so much on this channel, but I feel like that's just how it is, guys, okay? You can't be sensitive if you're gonna watch this, because I swear. But it just makes you that much stronger that you have to fight through those things, and you are doing it, and you are still fighting, and you're still living your life, and you're still finding ways to enjoy your life. So it does not define you. And the number one thing that I've learned for myself, and that I think has really made me, I don't know if the word successful is right, but successful in managing my anxiety, is not allowing it to to run my life, right? So basically, the thing that I really try to emphasize with clients as well is that you may have anxiety, but you're not anxiety. Your life doesn't revolve around it, and you don't need to perpetuate it. So do not feed your anxiety is what I'm trying to say. Do not feed your ADHD. Don't feed into it. Don't allow those thoughts to take over constantly. If you're feeling anxious, don't think about why you're feeling anxious. Don't go through it over and over and over and over and over and over. Oh my gosh, I feel like this. I shouldn't feel like this. It sucks that I feel like this. And I know that we all do it, and I used to do it all the time. My goodness, did I feed my anxiety when I first started to experience these feelings and didn't know what they were. I fed it. Oh my God, did I feed it. But once I realized that feeding it just enhanced it, I decided that I can't do this anymore. There has to be a different way to deal with this. So instead of constantly feeding it and talking about it every single day, I'm not saying don't talk about it. Definitely don't get that idea from this video, because I want everybody who watches this to be able to communicate, at least with me, about what's going on with you guys. And of course, I talk to my husband and I talk to my mom, and there's a couple safe people, I like to say, that I talk about, you know, the struggles mentally that I deal with, if you will. But what I'm saying is, don't constantly talk about it to yourself. Don't perpetuate those thoughts, because it's just going to continue to multiply them. If you feel it coming on, if you feel a panic attack coming on, if you feel any of these episodes, as I call them, coming on, use those strategies you have in place, use the tools you've built over time, and get to them immediately. As soon as you feel that feeling, you get to them. Think about it this way. If you have a headache, the first thing you're going to do is, oh shit, I need to take an Advil, or I need to lay down, or you immediately think of what you're going to do to fix this, right? You don't think, man, I have a headache, this sucks. Poor me and my headache. Oh, my headache really hurts. I'm just going to sit here and talk about this headache and think about this headache, and I'm just going to keep thinking about, why does my head hurt? You're not going to do that, right? You're going to think, okay, how do I fix this headache? So that's the greatest piece of advice. If you guys take away one thing from this video, that I would say is, do that with your anxiety, with your ADHD, with whatever you're suffering with at the moment. Do that. Immediately think, how am I going to help myself right now? Not, why is this happening to me? Oh, this sucks. Let me just think about it for a second. I'm just going to think about these thoughts a little bit longer. No, immediately move on. And if you can do that from the moment that you feel it coming on, I hope that it will help you guys the way that it helped me, and the way that it helped me pull myself out of those dark moments. Of course I still have them. Of course I still have anxiety. I mean, when really difficult things happen in your life, you're going to experience it a little stronger than some people. Yes, maybe. So I'm definitely not saying that this is gonna stop it. This is just something, just a little treat that life gave you that, you learn how to cope with, and that's okay too. But I'm saying, if you can make your everyday life easier, and your everyday living and your everyday being and breathing easier by doing these things, I really hope that you choose to do them, and I hope that you guys choose to practice them, because they have helped me. So basically, I just wanted to get out there and kind of start the conversation, and that's why I wanted to do this video. It's not really, I don't know if I would call it educational, or I don't know if I would call it a personal story, but all I can say is, I think it's important to continue to think about these things, and to continue to heal and find ways to better yourself, not just physically, but mentally. And I'm sure if you guys have watched this channel, or if you're going to continue to watch it, you're going to sense a little bit of a theme with me, that I am all about inside out wellness. And it is so, so important to have a healthy mind. You can have a healthy body, awesome, but if things aren't so great up there, it's not going to matter. You're not going to appreciate your body if you are not feeling good about yourself inside out. So it's super important to me. I'm going to discuss these topics and continue to talk about things that I find important, that I hope you guys will find important, and things that I struggle with personally. And if you guys would like to hear my own personal stories, or if you want to share things with me, if you want me to talk about specific things, I would love to hear from you. Please leave it in the comments below. Or if you don't want anybody else to see that that's what you're saying, feel free to message me. You can always send me a direct message on Instagram and let me know, if you want to share your story with me, or if you want me to talk about something, you can always send me a private message, and I will try my best to get that topic out for you guys as clear and as educational as I possibly can. Hopefully you enjoyed this very random and rambling video, but I hope you guys understand what the point of this video is, and I hope it gets you talking, and I hope it gets you thinking and sharing with your family and friends, and I hope it gets you, again, working on the best version of yourself. If you guys enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.